Hi, this is Srinivasachari. You are watching my YouTube channel, The Humanist Way. Psychology is concerned with the attempt to understand humans and other species. Psychology is all about human behavior, different mental processes, and the context in which behavior and mental processes occur. The term psychology is derived from two Greek words, psyche and logos, which means soul and science, or talk or study, or discourse, respectively. Thus, psychology means science of soul. Greek philosophers like Aristotle, Plato, and Socrates believed that soul, a spiritual entity, was responsible for the various mental activities such as learning, thinking, reasoning, and feeling, etc. The Greeks believed that the soul was controlling man's actions. Psychology is a science. Science is more systematic and exhaustive than talk. Talk goes on carelessly and loosely. It is usually vague and indefinite. Science implies well established knowledge. It gives us some power of prediction. Science gives us knowledge that is based on observation of facts. It gives us objective knowledge also. Science uses special terminology of its own or technical terminology. Thus, literally, psychology means science of soul, but it is not acceptable because of the following reasons. One is nature, origin, and place of soul are not known. It has no physical existence. It does not exist in reality. It cannot be seen or heard. It has no weight and volume. It is a metaphysical concept. Second one is it makes psychology more of religion than of science because it is a theoretical concept and implies certain theories of religion and relationship to God. Lastly, soul makes our science a speculative science as it is not open to observation and experimentation and therefore not given to verification. Therefore, this definition of psychology as a science of soul is unscientific and hence this is discarded. Professor Guilford says psychology cannot be the science of soul because soul is not capable of scientific investigation. René Descartes, French philosopher and mathematician, first modern philosopher, claimed that animals have no soul. Therefore, they cannot feel anything. Human beings alone have both body and soul. Hence, we have feelings and emotions. We think and therefore we know that we exist. From the study of soul, psychology changed into the study of mind. A layman's view about mind is something in the body or in the heart which thinks cognitive activity, feels affective activity, and acts cognitive activity.
If mind means something mysterious inside us, it would be just the same as the soul. Hence, this definition would equally deserves to be rejected. Psychologists view about mind. Mind is the combination of or some total of mental processes, and it stands for personal internal experiences of human beings, for example pleasure and pains, hopes and wishes, dreams and desires. Mind is a collection of mental functions, and these are clearly based on the structure that is the brain. The in ancient times, Hindu philosophers thought of mind as the sixth organ, along with the other five senses, that is, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, and skin. According to them, mind is the organ of thinking. We know the world through our five senses or sense organs, and we can reflect on this knowledge through our mind. Later on, psychology was considered as the science of consciousness, that is, awareness. Since 1850 till 1878, psychology was defined as the science of consciousness, awareness, Chetana. The first world recognized experimental laboratory was established in the year 1879 at Leipzig in Germany by Wilhelm Wundt, which gave psychology the status of the science. Later, in 1882, Sir Francis Galton formulated the first test laboratory in London. Consciousness is the unique characteristics of human touch. Consciousness means to be aware of the situation, to be fully alive to the situation, or to be most wakeful to the situation. The Buddhist described this as mindfulness. Mindful, we must be of what we are doing at the moment. Consciousness stands for the inner experiences of man, his thoughts, feelings, and memories, etc. William James, an American scientist, psychologist, considered the father of American psychology, wrote extensively about the consciousness, our awareness of the environment and of ourselves. William James also developed a theory explaining that our emotional reactions arise from the way we perceive our psychological responses. William James wrote the following books: Principles of Psychology in 1890 and Psychology, a briefer course, 1892. According to Evans, 1990, the above mentioned texts are probably the most significant psychological treatise ever written in America. Edward Bradford Tishner, a structuralist, regarded psychology as the science of consciousness or the study of experiences. Consciousness or experience can be broken or analyzed into three basic elements. One is physical sensations, second one is feelings, and lastly images such as memories and dreams. Sigmund Freud compared the human mind to an iceberg. Only a small part of the iceberg rises above the surface of water. This portion is the consciousness, which includes everything we are aware of at a particular moment. Consciousness is central to human functioning. Consciousness is often defined as an active awareness of all the many thoughts, images, perceptions, and emotions that occupies the mind at any given time. Consciousness is what allows us to monitor our environments and ourselves as we make our way in the world. It is what enables us to exert some control over what we do and experience, to choose among alternative ways of thinking, feeling, and acting. It is also what gives us a sense of continuity, a way of linking experiences into a past, a present, and a future. Without consciousness, in other words, we would have no sense of being, no sense of self. Our conscious experiences refers to our sensory awareness of the environment and of ourselves. A conscious person actively processes a rich array of mental information. Some additional material that is not in awareness at a particular time can be retrieved or recalled or brought to consciousness or awareness with a little effort. This material is called preconscious or subconscious. An example of the preconscious would be this name of high school English teacher. The nature of material in the preconscious is not different from the material in the conscious. Thoughts moves easily from one state to the other. Freud was especially interested in unconscious. This holds thoughts and desires that are far below the level of a person's awareness. Unconsciousness is the opposite of consciousness, being unaware, not attentive to events or ideas. Unattended objects or ideas soon fade away and are not remembered. Some memories are unconscious. They automatically show up without any effort. For example, memory of how to ride a bicycle comes back to us even after a lapse of a few years during which we have not been on bicycle. Most of the iceberg lies below the surface of the water. Similarly, Freud argues that most psychic or mental processes are not conscious. They are hidden from the outside world. Your unconscious may hold particularly some traumatic or painful childhood memory. Although a traumatic memory will not reach consciousness during normal daily activities, Freud proposed that it might influence your behavior without your being aware of it. A mechanism called repression is supposed to be responsible for pushing unacceptable thoughts back into the unconscious rather than the letting them emerge into awareness. Unconscious person is totally unresponsive to the outside world. However, psychology as a science of consciousness was discarded or rejected on the following grounds. One is consciousness forms a very negligible portion of our mind. The most important segments or portions that are preconscious or subconscious and unconscious exerts a great influence on the development of personality. Second one is we can be conscious of only of our own mental activities. We cannot know the consciousness of others. This method is very akin to introspection, which is the most subjective and least scientific or unscientific method. So, it cannot be accepted in the modern scientific age. Lastly, it cannot study cognitive or physical activities and this affects behaviors. Early behaviorists like Watson, B.F. Skinner, Thorndike, Tolman, Hull, and others thought that if we cannot objectively see into consciousness to measure, to analyze its components, then consciousness is not a proper subject for scientific study. The current view of most, but not all, psychologists is that psychology is the science of human and animal behavior. However, psychologists are interested in the internal process producing that behavior. For example, psychologists studying aggression in adolescents do not only focuses on their aggressive behavior, rather they want to know why adolescents behave in antisocial manner or fashion. Later on, psychology was recognized as a science of behavior. Behavior, according to Drever, is the total responses of the organism to the situation of life. It includes physical as well as mental behavior, human as well as animal behavior, child as well as adult behavior, normal as well as the abnormal behavior, etc. It includes all forms of processes, adjustments, activities, and experiences of the organism. According to Robert Woodworth, behavior is the collective name for various types of activities such as cognitive, affective, and cognitive, corresponding to knowing, feeling, and doing. Behavior includes cognitive activities like sensation, awareness, perception, thinking, learning, memory, imagination, problem solving, decision making, etc. Cognitive activities are the mental aspect of our experiences or behavior. Affective activities include the effects or emotions involved in our experiences or behavior like feelings, emotions, and sentiments. Cognitive or psychomotor activities include the physical aspects involved in our experience or behavior like walking, jumping, running, playing, swimming, dancing, digging, riding bicycle, etc. Thus, the word behavior covers not only our outer behavior but also our inner experiences or mental processes. Behavior expresses the entire life of an individual. Behavior is the expression of one's experience. Any manifestation of life is behavior. Any activity on the part of an organism is her or his behavior. In a nutshell, behavior refers to the entire life activities and experiences of all living organisms. Behavior refers to all of a person's overt actions that others can directly observe. For example, walking, speaking, and showing facial expressions.
Hi, this is Srinivasachari. You are watching my YouTube channel, The Humanist Way. you.